Okay, so in this video we're going to go through how to connect your Google integration and then how you can save data to a Google Sheet. Now in this flow that we've been working with, what we do during and throughout the flow is we connect a number of different pieces of information, and this series of actions over here then allows us to insert a new row into Google Sheets. Now, saving the data to a Google Sheet acts as kind of a backup to be able to save any data that we're collecting. Now, you can, of course, optionally save it to both Google Sheets and any other integration that you want, whether it be a CRM, an email system, wherever you want to send that data. But we're constantly using Google Sheets as that backup system, and it also allows us to more easily access and analyze the data that we're saving in there as well. Now, what we need to do first, and to make sure that we've got set up, is that we've actually connected our Google account. So firstly, you'll need a G Suite or a Gmail account previously set up that you'll need to log into. And to do that, we need to go to the settings of our ManyChat account and then scroll down to the integration section. And the Google Sheets account or Google account is the first option up here. When you connect the button, it'll prompt you to log in to your Google account and it'll authorize that connection there. So that is the first step that we need to do. Then in this template, we've previously set up, and it's in this comment here, where you can access a Google Sheet that we've set up that allows us to insert that information. And that's this link here. Now, you'll have a slightly different view than this one. What you'll need to do, because you only have view-only access, is come up to File and then go Make a Copy. And then you can save that to your own Google account to allow you to be able to insert the data that we're going to collect throughout the flow into this Google Sheet. Now, in this spreadsheet that we've set up, we have a number of different fields that we'll collect throughout the flow process, including how many followers they have, whether they follow us at all, and the entry time that they've entered the competition. We'll also collect what method they use to be able to enter the competition or whatever you're going to set in here. Now, we actually collect that at the start of the flows, both in this process or if you've installed and worked with our other comment growth tool flow, you'll see that we set their entry method status as that flow there. So then that allows us to, again, analyze some of that data that's been saved into Google Sheets. Now, when you're doing this on a new flow or down the track, it's simple to be able to save that data into a Google Sheet. Firstly, we need an Actions node, and we hit the Actions button and it'll pop up all the different options. Now, as you scroll down the different options, you'll then find the Google Sheets actions, and this will then appear after you have connected your Google Sheets account as well. When we click on that, it then allows us to select the action that we want, and there are three different options. We can either insert a row, we can look up and get a row by the value that we want to search for, or we can update an existing row with new data as well. For this flow, we're going to be inserting a row and sending the data that we've collected in ManyChat over to Google Sheets. Now, when you go to insert a row, it'll then connect and look up all the existing spreadsheets you've currently got access to in your Google account. You want to find the spreadsheet that you've used, and maybe a copy of the one that we've set up here. And then we'll also prompt you as to which worksheet or tab that you want to look up the column titles for. So we're looking at this tab down here on this spreadsheet, and we choose that one. And then once it's looked at the column titles, it will then display them over on the right hand side, and we need to match the data we're collecting in ManyChat to the column title over there. So we've matched what their name is, their email. Throughout the process, we've collected and set the date or the time that they've entered the competition. We've also collected their user ID, and the user ID is a unique identifier that ManyChat gives to this user, and that can be handy if we're looking up or searching for new users or seeing whether they have claimed a certain entry or discount code before. And it's also great for when we're updating any new user information down the track. So if there's multiple ways of entering and you want to be able to update the total entries that they've got, for instance, the user ID is unique to each and every one of the followers, so it's a great way to be able to search. We're also looking up to make sure that we know how many Instagram followers they currently have. And this is just a nice little additional piece of data that when we're looking through everyone that has claimed or entered the competition, if someone has a lot of followers or is interacting with us that is an influencer potentially in our industries, that we can identify them in that spreadsheet and then also be able to potentially reach out and have continual conversation with them in a different manner as well. As part of the flow that we have for this competition, we also get them to follow us on Instagram, and so we determine whether or not they do. If they do, then we mark that and send that over to Google Sheets as well, and we're also just adding how they have entered the competition entry method in there as well. Once you have set the data in here, you hit the save button. Now, if throughout the process of entering or inserting new data into a Google Sheet, it either throws an error or you do update any of the column titles along here, you can simply just hit the refresh button and that'll refresh any of the column titles here as well. And then you'll need to go through and reallocate each of the different pieces of data that you're sending over to ManyChat. So again, connecting Google Sheets is a really simple but really powerful ally that you can have in your chat marketing strategy. You can sit there as a backup, save some of that data, make it easier to find and easier to analyze.